Mystery Time presents Broadcasting Magic's weekly mystery radio show.
Good evening, everyone. This is the first episode of our latest radio mystery show.
The title of tonight's story is Where There's a Will, There's a Corpse. Part 1.
It's late at night, and the relatives of the late Dr. Rufus Carlton gather for the reading of his will. The faces around the table stare one another. This is not a family of love and good cheer. Dr. Carlton's relatives have been waiting years for him to knock off and give them a chance at his fortune. The faces at this table are unfriendly and scheming. Their stares are cold as the grave in which old Dr. Carlton lies now. Aunt Minerva, the good doctor's sister and a penniless widow who has remained in society's uppermost crust solely by the name of Carlton, although really she is one Mrs. Hartford. Her son, young Rufus, whose parents named him after his uncle merely in hopes to get him in good favor with that rich old geezer. Then there was Harry Carlton, the doctor's grandson. He was sure to get the bulk of the inheritance. Then Uncle Lewis, brother of the old doctor who claims his injuries in the war interfered with his own success in business. But then again, Uncle Lewis had inherited most of his own father's money years ago. Where had that gone? Frittered away, or just bad investments? Last but not least, dear cousin Geraldine, the closest to a favorite, if Uncle Rufus ever had one. As for the narrator, you're looking at another young Carlton snob. Not so proud of the name or the family that comes with it. Yours truly, Margaret Winifred Carlton, the old doctor's niece, and the only of us Carltons who don't depend on allowances, inheritances, or any of the dear old doc's savings account. Good thing, too, because the family won't have anything to do with me. And great-uncle Rufus, from what I understood, despised my profession. Discredit to the family name, they call it. I'm a reporter on the Daily Telegraph. That's really the only reason I'm here tonight. I don't expect a cent. But this scoop of mine... Our family lawyer, A.R. Rogsley, is drawing the will from his briefcase. The family's breathless. The eagerness in their cold stone eyes is disgustfully visible. Old Rogsley's clearing his throat now.
I, Rufus Carlton, being of sound mind and body, as my physician has so kindly agreed to confirm, leave my entire estate to my niece, Margaret, in hopes that she will give up her foolish career and settle down, restoring the family's good name. If she does not agree to reside in the family mansion, it and all of the estate goes to my grandson, Harold.
This is definitely more than I expected for my story. I was here tonight to get the news. I didn't think I would be the news.
We now take you to the Daily Telegraph building, a place where aspiring young journalists go to start their career, only to have it promptly crushed, stepped on, and then washed down the drain. Only the few who can take it, make it behind the typewriter. The very best of them don't even make it sometimes. They gotta steal it.
Oh, those wise guys. How did I ever get acquainted with such hooligans? Uh-oh, here comes the leader of those news-hungry delinquents now. That ruffian reporter and his flashbulb thug, Benson.
Well. If it isn't Miss Park Avenue herself, we are honored to be graced with your presence.
Blah.
Saw your story in the papers, Marge. That was a good write-up. Yes, it was, Charlie. What I'm wondering is what our young heiress is doing back at her old job, and not even a mink coat to show for it.
Listen, Pete, it's not what you think. I have no intention of keeping that money. My place is here on the paper. I just thought this inheritance story would be a good headline and scoop you for a change.
You're not gonna keep the money?
No, I ain't gonna keep the money.
Well, what are you gonna do with it?
Give it away. If I don't lay claim on it, it goes to my cousin Harry, and that's fine with me. I just thought it'd make a decent follow-up for my story.
Decent? That's the worst story I ever heard. Some gal inherits a bunch of money, then gives it all away and goes on with her life. What kind of reporter are you anyway?
One who wants to say a reporter. The terms of my old grandpappy's will say I have to live in that mansion, and I don't get a cent if I don't. Besides that, the family will be all over me. I tell you, my relatives are murder. But the wheels of Pete Bradley's head were turning fast. He's got something on his mind.
But why not move into the mansion? Reporter lives life of luxury. Don't you see? That's news.
Well,
You'll be the headline for weeks.
Well, there's just one little catch, Pete.
What's that?
The mansion's haunted.
Haunted? That's ridiculous. Besides, me and Charlie will be with you, and ghosts don't bother us. Right, Charlie? Right.
And so, after Pete told our editor, McDougal, the setup, he, Charlie, and myself all piled into his car. We drove first to the lawyer's office. Wogsley said I could move into the mansion right away if I so wished, which I did not. But he gave us the keys anyway, and it was with too much enthusiasm that Pete drove us to the old Carlton mansion. And there it was.
Gee, it looks just like in all those horror movies. Yeah, and it's all Margie's.
Giddy.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week when we'll present you with part 2.